Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to take a look at some of the new ships in 3.6.0 First Wave, and there might be more, there might be updates to them and that sort of stuff in the future, so just bear that in mind. It is early PTU at the moment, but the M52, not the M52, what am I talking about? The P52 and the P72 over there we'll look at, and then we'll look at the Vanguard, Hoplite and Warden, which have had a rework as well. I believe they are also purchasable, the Vanguards, at Lorville on Hurston in New Deal there. So that's pretty slick. So let's have a look at the P52 first. It's got two size 1 weapons on its wings that you can change out, and a size 2 proprietary Tiger Strike Gatling on its nose, which is pretty cool. The ship looks absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm not a massive fan of Snubcraft, just because they don't have quantum drives. I don't foresee myself using them much. Once we have the Constellation's ability to dock and undock with them, that will be really, really useful. That's not coming until the earliest in 3.8 with the ship-to-ship docking actual mechanics. But there's been materials updates. There's been landing gear compression updates here as well. You should be able to just look at the ship and go, oh yeah, okay, I can see the materials and the reflections and the lighting. It's all a bit better. But it's pretty damn similar to what it was, admittedly. But the actual P72, the Archimedes, so the P52 is the Merlin, the P72 is the Archimedes. That has 4 size 1s on it. No size 2 on its nose. The idea there is it's got an intake, so it's a racing version is the idea of it. Sort of, I suppose, with 4 size 1s it's pretty effective for its size in combat. And these things are quite hard to hit, little gnats, but this one's going to be more racing-y. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be effective in combat for defensive purposes when it's supporting another ship, but I wouldn't use it against combat craft by itself, is the sort of idea. I do very much like the colour scheme. I do very much like the way the Archimedes looks. I think it looks pretty slick. I like the term slick today. Let's jump in and have a look-see over here. Well, the entry and the general model is pretty similar between the P52 and P72. Like ready to have a look at its HUD.
Your adventure, courtesy of Kruger.
You can see on a lot of the HUDs actually in 3.6 they really like red now, and you'll see the contrast of the new sort of colour of red that they use, or at least they're using red more often. I think that P72 looks pretty awesome. Not sitting properly on the ground at the moment, you know, alpha and all. That intake should allow it to get a bit more speed, agility and boost and all that sort of jazz. That's the idea. Lighter though, so expect it to not be able to take so much of a pounding as the P52 can. But that said, again, you don't want either of these really to be hit by fire. Even in 3.6, where effective health pools of ships seem to be significantly higher. Yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the Vanguards, though. So we're on our way to the New Deal shop on Hurston at Lorville, and I've just spawned here at Lorville, and I just wanted to sort of like quickly show you that there's been some sort of like improvements, I suppose, to Lorville's lighting and some of the materials and stuff there as well. If you're on a full server, the performance in Lorville is pretty chuggy, admittedly. So sort of bear that in mind. PTU, they need to optimize it again at some point, and that will happen a little bit later in the process. We do have a load of NPCs now around, a lot of them inactive, some of them active, but very few. So these ship terminals are around in all of the ship shops now, so like Teachers and Astra Armada, and they have different stock each, so different ships on different terminals. So this one's actually got quite a few. Got lots of Aegis ships. We've got some MISC ships. The Mustangs. We've got Origin ships. We've got RSI ships. But we are here. Here's the bomb here. and grab ourselves a Warden. So my Vanguard hoplite is on one of the pads, but it didn't tell me which one because it said it couldn't access the ship, and then it just plonked it down somewhere. So we're going to have a damn good guess. Over there, maybe 6? Now, as you can see, we actually move in the elevators now, so they go up and down and left and right. So we're still not correctly by it. Let us go to get a 5. Oh, this looks better. This looks very good. That was pretty quickly found. So yeah, the lifts go up, down, left and right, and will go take you to the area you want to go. They're much better system, having them partly physicalized or fully physicalized in that case of those ones. But they will have elevators that teleport you as well. It's just going to be based on what's sensible. But this is the Vanguard hoplite. Obviously, very similar to the other Vanguards externally. You can see that new sort of very glowing frontal intakes. When the engine's on, we'll see them power up and glow as well. It's vibrating lightly on the pads. Obviously, there's still some problems. I'm not sure if you can change out the guns on the nose. Let's have a quick look to see if I can change them in the vehicle loadout manager. Let's see on the Warden. Weaponry. At the moment it's just not listing if I can or not. It does seem to list a large amount of weapons. So 5 weapons would suggest to me maybe 4 nose guns and the Death Gatling underneath. So maybe you can. Can we actually see the hoplite? See if it looks like it's got... So yeah, there's certainly the potential to be able to swap those weapons out. They've got slots and they're not entirely blocked out. Although it is a very specific MVSA laser cannon. So load of size 2 weapons on the front. So we'll have to see whether we can change them in the future. Not 100% sure yet. Unconfirmed. Let us get aboard, though. There are still some problems with sort of like the lighting and the texturing of various bits and pieces. In the Warden, for example, that where the landing gear goes into it isn't done properly. We've got some big struts supporting the nacelles as well now. Get inside and close her up. We've got physicalized cupboards for components of the future as well. So that one doesn't want to open, but that's where the quantum drive would be. If these doors want to open, they do. So in the hoplite, the central module is basically the thing that's changed out. We've got seats for 6 Marines to sit, nice and secured. We've got a load of places they can put weapons, 10 weapons there. I believe there's also a place where they can put larger weapons, like a Scourge pew-pew railgun and eventually the rocket launcher, the heavy weapons basically. But you also be able to store your gear and stuff like that in here as well, which is obviously useful. I'm assuming those seats also allow you to have full armor on and be sat down in a seat. I think that's one of the ways they're going to differentiate seating in the future. Under the stairs, I believe, is the radar. But at the moment, it's sort of like a void to nothingness. Can we close that? Can we close that again? Can we close? No, just gonna close the door on me repeatedly. No, that's fine. That's actually what I wanted in a tour. I just wanted to keep on opening and closing. Oh my god. There we go. Perfect. That's perfectly what I wanted to. But we've got all these physicalized cupboards for these components, which is good. And all ships, I believe, are going to be made with these in mind. So eventually these components will be damageable and removable individually. And you'll obviously access them like I'm just doing there. Got the cooling systems there as well on each side. But you'll be able to put sub-components in and that sort of stuff as well. Turret access. Good question, isn't it? How do turret access? It's just the door that opens above. At the moment, I just teleport into it, you know, like you would. If we can get out. We can get out! Pressing Y, T, and R all at the same time allowed me to get out. So, give this little tiny fly over Lorville. Have a look at the HUD. A little bit delay at the moment.
Activated. Systems green. Shields recharging.
So let's request
Shields overheating.
the ability to leave. You notice that ships that have VTOLs, they will put their engines like pointing towards the ground and fly very much like helicopters. Ships that don't really have VTOLs will still use VTOL thrusters, but well, will still try to put their thrust downwards. They might not be as effective as it, but I find that they strafe better for takeoff and landing, to be honest. Ones without VTOL thrusters. Well, without main VTOL engines, I suppose. The New Deal is just there. And Lorville is a little laggy and choppy sometimes, especially when there's a few people in the server. But I really, 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 really like the Vanguard Warden. It's one of my favourite ships for ages. However, it didn't perform well enough. I don't know if it needed a full rework, like they gave it. I thought maybe it would have just benefited from a sort of like changing the loadouts, making it more competitive like that. Let's have a quick look around the outside of the ship, as vibrating as it is. Oh, we can see into some of the gubbins, some of the textures missing at the moment, unless they intended it to be blue and sort of pink internally, which I doubt. Doesn't really fit the Warden colour scheme that's putting that up. There are obviously some lighting problems. That door shouldn't be black. It is a mighty ship. Got those 4 big guns on the nose, and it's got the big pew pew death ballistic gun on the front. Close her up. So one of the things you've got is easy access to all the components. Unfortunately, the door does not open because it hates me. Yeah, got the quantum drive there, and then when we go inside, come on, come on, come on. There we go. I only had to click on the door like 8 times. That's probably me just being impatient. So we've got basically a little living area. We've got a munitions storage area, so we can be able to store ammo and weapons and that sort of jazz, as well as an EVA suit and armor. We have access to a shower toilet. It's a little toilet. So that will be good for when we have player status system in, and we have hygiene. It is relatively Spartan though. 2 bunk beds. Quite a large feeling area, and then we have a console which will give you MFD, multifunction display, and systems access as well. But we've got loads of the components sort of like just around the ship. So obviously at the moment these are empty, but they will have physicalized components in once they actually have the system for physicalized components. I believe the Terrapin's getting it first. This is obviously a glitch. And there, under the stairs, I believe, is the radar? Oh no, I've just closed the door on myself. And then opened the other door. So down there is the radar. At the moment, it's just avoid a more to hell. Let's close that up. Again, we've got loads of access to various systems. Some of them are sort of like have placeholders there for now. Eventually, these like shield generators and everything will be individually destroyable. Cupboards there. Got our cooling modules. Yeah. And the ship is so vastly different now. Take it for a little bit of a spin. The turret has yet to spawn in. Let's ask for the doors to be open. That would be useful.
Shields recharging. Shields up.
Because we're moving slowly, when we're in gravity, we are in VTOL mode. I am not pro at VTOL mode yet. I am very bad at flying ship like helicopter. That said, because we don't have VTOL thrusters, as it were, we do fly much more like a traditional flight model. So let's hold our wings open. Back to our landing gear. It looks absolutely fantastic with that. Those intakes. Obviously the turret isn't appearing properly at the moment, but it will in the future. Ship's just a bit chuggy. But this is the hoplite rather than the Warden, but the Warden is pretty much identical in the way that it flies. It's just the central module that is different. But yeah, that's the basics of the ships. I mean, we'll do a full review of them and that sort of stuff once they're fully implemented. Because at the moment, I don't think the Wardens are even listed. The Vanguards, the Warden and the Hoplite are even listed as changes in the patch notes yet. You sort of like, you don't have access to them unless you buy them from the ship shops. But the large access to ships in the ship shops is fantastic. That's going to really improve some people's game. And be able to test new ships, and we'll have rentals in some point in the 3.6 branch. But yeah, Hoplites and Wardens and Vanguards. For me, the Vanguard is just one of those ships that never really found its place in the game, and hopefully this rework will help. Unfortunately, 3.6 at the moment has some issues, obviously, with chuggy performance. Some of the AI is still a bit rubber bandy, but it's a little bit different rubber banding than we had in 3.5. There's a lot of steps that they've gone in to try and improve a lot of this stuff. So hopefully, when they've actually implemented the Vanguards properly for 3.6, we'll see them come into their own a bit. We might be able to change the weapons on the nose. Don't know yet, but I'll keep you updated when we know more, basically, and throughout the PT phase and beyond. But yeah, if you've got any specifics that you want me to take a look at with ships or any of the patch stuff for 3.6, then please chuck it in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. July is no different. We have an 890 jump to giveaway donated by My Radar, who make a free weather app available for iOS, Android and other mobile devices besides. They also have the Moons of Crusader and their services displayed in their app for Star Citizen, which is mega cool. And they are adding even more moons. Coming soon as well are the planets of Hurston and ArcCorp. Check out that app in the links below. I am still shilling for Shadow and NordVPN. So Shadow, that allows you to have a high-spec gaming and Windows 10 environment subscription service streamed to any device, old PC, laptop, phone, that sort of stuff. It's great for Star Citizen and any other modern game, and for people that want a Windows 10 sort of environment on the go. They do keep on updating their software and their hardware, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, I use NordVPN, which is a really useful VPN for security, privacy, or accessing websites more easily. It also has a lot of advantages over free VPN services, and it is still mega cheap. I use the code BoardGamer for Shadow or NordVPN to get a discount. Thank you for your continued support and love, especially from Robert Johnston, Huntress, Dalamars, Vamprist, Gear Khan, Cat Astros Mega, Andy Green, Mill, and Snarky. You guys and girls are not just the best, but you're also my executive producers for the month of July, and you've gone beyond all possible sense financially in supporting the channel, so genuinely thank you very much. It is amazingly appreciated. If you do have any questions or ideas for content, organizations you want me to check out, or just want me to say hi to you, or you want to say hi, leave a comment below and I will try and read it and get back to you. Also, feel free to check out my Discord and my Reddit and my Facebook page and my Instagrams. I know lots of stuff down below if you're interested in any of that, but whatever, take care guys, and I'll see you in the verse.